e-commerce platforms from kind of the enterprise solutions 5-7 years ago that weren't really accessible to anybody in this building, and kind of the platforms popping up today, just from who they were and what some of the current feature sets of some of the platforms are, and then like what feature sets are you most taking advantage of with whatever platform you're using?
See, the thing is, companies like Amazon.com, Zappos.com, Newegg.com, they build out the standards for the e-commerce industry as a collective of B2C, B2B, kind of mostly B2C. They offer the standards of what an e-commerce should look like, what functionality. So when the customer sees the orange add to cart button or the buy button, they know what to do with that because they built that, you know, or eBay for that matter, you know, they built the culture of auctions. So when you rewind the time back like 10 years ago, right, these companies were innovating and creating these great solutions. And then what happened was the people that could pay for those kind of solutions, technology company, e-commerce companies like ATG is one of those examples. They are the premium e-commerce platform, enterprise level that's available. Now, when you want to get your e-commerce up, you had to be a Tommy Hilfiger or a Perry Ellis or a big brand that could afford to spend like $1 million on licensing. Then you would spend another $2-3 million doing your software development to get it integrated with your systems. Because when you're in a large company, there are many different systems that you have to integrate with in order for orders to go out, for returns to come in, for the product catalog to be synchronized, warehouse updates, all of those kind of things, right? So those are the kind of companies that could afford that kind of a solution. But then, back then, the only provider that was there was Yahoo stores. So if you wanted to have a store, you would pay Yahoo a fixed fee per month and you can get your site up. But if you looked around and looked at Amazon.com or looked at anybody else, the features that they were providing, you couldn't really get that from your Yahoo stores back then. Fast forward to today, right? Every year in technology, especially in the internet space, if you looked at something and you evaluated it, let's say 3 months ago, it's a good idea to reevaluate it 3 months from now, because competition changes things. There's somebody working on the next e-commerce platform that would do even better than what's being done today, and they will give it to you at an affordable price so that more mom and pop shops and boutiques could actually get online and start selling. Today, if you own a small business store and you sell products or you sell a service, there is absolutely no excuse, zero excuse, for you not to be doing e-commerce or selling on the web and interacting with your clients on the web if you're a service provider. If you're selling anything in your retail store, you could even move it faster by bringing it online and extending your brand to online. And then, because your stores are not, a typical store is not always busy with hundreds of shoppers in there. It's not the case. But you do get, once you get the traffic up on your site, you're getting thousands of people looking at your product every minute, you know. And then you would be able to, the same inventory that's not moving in the store could actually get sold out online, because the customers that are looking for that stuff may not be in Tribeca, for instance, right? They're somewhere in Wyoming and they're looking for that specific thing that you're selling. Now you just opened up the world to your brand. From an affordability standpoint, I'm going to go with the most expensive first, okay? So enterprise class, hands down, it's ATG. ATG is the cream of the crop. So if you're a brand, now you're making $50 million from your e-commerce sales, or you're making 25 million and you want to grow to 50 million or 100 or 200 million, you have the funds to actually get an ATG solution, because it comes with many different great technologies, many things like live chat and all those kind of great things at an enterprise level where your traffic is so much more, you know. So from that's the cream of the crop, you know, to get that. From the perspective of a small business owner, from affordability standpoint, even in a medium-sized business, or a growing small to medium-sized business, my recommendation would be, if you could afford to pay a monthly fixed fee, the platform that I love is Volusion. And from my experience, e-commerce experience, when I looked at and evaluated at that time, it was about a year ago, I had more than 18 months ago was the time when I was evaluating different e-commerce platforms. To me, Volusion seemed like everything that I needed to get done and grow to the first 3 years of my company. So, and how much would that cost? And I looked at their Platinum account, which, because I have a big selection of products, the Volusion Platinum account was about $175 or $200 a month, something like that. And to me, they offered everything. They offered wish lists, shopping cart, integration with payment systems. You could take PayPal, you could take Google Checkout, everything. Everything. You can integrate with different providers. They offered integration with UPS, USPS. Those are the things you need to calculate shipping. They offered a great customer service management where you can communicate with your customers through their interface, order management, all of these great tools that I've come to know to exist, or I developed it myself on a bigger platform like ATG or a Java-based platform. Those things I had to develop it from scratch. But here was a company that offered all of these great, amazing features at an affordable fixed price. So that was my decision to go with them. The other decision I made was that I wanted to be, my background is in technology. But over the years, I have transitioned to marketing and business management and internet marketing specifically. One of the other decisions I made with the Volusion platform was I didn't want to be the technician. I always ask myself a key question, and every entrepreneur should be asking themselves this question: what business are you in? If the answer is, oh, I'm in a technology business building e-commerce plugins, okay, then why are you selling vitamins? That's not e-commerce plugins. That's a technology company, right? If your answer is, I want to be the best and most effective, best service-oriented, more selection, better prices, whatever those things are, in the vitamin industry, in the coffee industry, in the tea industry, or personal care, or widgets, or whatever you're trying to sell, right? That should be your focus. And my decision to go with Volusion was, I didn't want to be sitting there programming and coding the next thing I wanted to do. I wanted the platform to offer me as much of that possible, so that the limitation should have been my creativity. If I hit a roadblock, it was my creativity that hit a roadblock, not the fact that the platform was limited in any way. I did look at that time, I had looked at Magento, which is an open source platform. You could download it, you could get it to, there's a plugin with the Magento Connect. You could download any kind of a plugin that you're looking for. It allows you to do a lot of great things. It's a great platform. But what that meant was either I was doing the development myself, or I would have to hire somebody who knew Magento platform and knew how to code in order to, and I would open up requests to let them work on that. And every time, as a small business owner or as a startup, you sometimes cannot afford to do that. The next promotion you want to do, you don't want to wait 6 weeks for it to be coded. You want the platform to do that for you. All you do is do a price change, introduce a new promotion, a coupon, or whatever you have to do the graphics, and boom, you're up and running with that platform. So that was a strategic decision I had made. So the three platforms, enterprise, I would say it's ATG. My personal choice in a sort of a paid platform is Volusion. In an open source platform is Magento Commerce. It's a very good platform. Perhaps maybe 2-3 years from now, I would consider migrating if Volusion falls behind with feature sets and they're not there, or if I outgrow the platform so much that I'm looking for XYZ and Magento is the only platform that allows you to do that. So those are my personal choices between the three platforms. There are other choices too. OS Commerce with open source is a very good platform. There are a lot of people that know the platform very well. so that you can get people to work on. If you have a blog on WordPress, you know, not wordpress.com, but your own, it's self-hosted somewhere, you can actually get a WP Commerce. I think there's a plugin that allows you to have a shopping cart on your blog, so that you could bring in at the cart, sell jewelry, whatever you have to sell, you could do that, those kind of things. So there are tools like that existing. So anytime you are trying to, whether it's Drupal or Ruby on Rails, because Ruby on Rails also has a commerce platform, the name escapes me, but there is a platform that's written exclusively on Ruby on Rails. So you could get that, you could get a solution on Drupal. The question is knowing to actually go and ask that question, to look around and actually find a solution, instead of sitting down and wasting 3 months of time on doing development. Rather, you could have just paid somebody $200 to get a license to something, to the commerce platform or whatever, and then those 3 months could have been spent on marketing whatever you're trying to create. You know, unless you're doing such an innovative thing that nobody has heard of, you know, you're the next Facebook or Twitter, then my comments don't apply to those folks. My comments apply to, you have, in Tribeca, you have your little store, and small business is a great brand. People love you, they buy your surfboards, they buy your clothing, they buy your widgets, whatever you're trying to sell, they buy it from you. Now, there are so many solutions in the marketplace that there is no reason for you to build anything out. I mean, they all exist. If you want an auction platform, it's right there. If you want to do add to cart, it's right there. If you want to have a Facebook store, it's there. All those solutions exist. It's a matter of opening up your eyes and getting on google.com and typing in the magical keywords that you're looking for, and looking at what's advertised there and how many searches you get, and then go through that review process to see which one fits in with what you want to do. And the minimum, and being an engineer, I'm saying this, the minimum tech that's involved in you maintaining your store, the better it is. Because at the end of the day, when you're trying to push a 12-hour special, you don't want to be working on it for 3 weeks to get it up. You want to spend an hour to get it up and be effective.